Hello everybody, my name is Josh and welcome back to the Mega Man 1 playthrough. This is part 2. We're going to head straight into our next stage, which is Cutman. The reason we're going to Cutman next is because Cutman is weak to Gutsman's weapon, which we got at the end of the last episode, which is the Super Arm. The reason for Cutman being weak to the Super Arm, because rock, paper, scissors. So Cutman is the other stage that a lot of people would do first, because it's not too difficult of a stage. It's actually quite an easy stage, probably the easiest stage in the game, in my opinion. In terms of which Robot Master I think is easier though, for me, personally, I think Bomb Man is slightly easier. So we're gonna start making our way through Cutman, not Gutsman. Wrong Robot Master. And Cutman's stage can be very vertical. It makes for a different stage. So we'll get to explaining what the Super Arm does very soon, because it's actually an interesting item. It's not your typical, Robot Master weapon. It's actually a little bit different. So one thing that I didn't talk about in the first part is that you may have been noticing I've been picking up these little ball things when I defeat enemies. And that is bonus points. For some reason, in Mega Man 1 only, no other Mega Man game, only in Mega Man 1, there are these point things, and they're really weird, and they just give points. You may have noticed that score counter at the top of the screen. Mega Man 1 is the only classic Mega Man game to do this, basically. So, we're going to be half defeating enemies, and half not defeating enemies. Octopus batteries are easy to take out, and their pattern is pretty easy to figure out. The only problem is that they are all very dangerous. And they can do a lot of damage to you. You may have noticed I'm not taking too much damage in this stage, just because this stage is not very difficult at all. So we're going to drop down right here, and we are going to glitch to the bottom of the screen like that, because I don't want to deal with that room. This room's a lot easier to get through, and here we are right outside the... Keep small jumping. There we go, that's good. So we got another big eye right there. That's not the worst big eye. The worst big eye we're going to encounter in the next stage that we go to. Mega Man 1 is also the only classic Mega Man game to have enemies in the boss hallways. It's also the only game for the boss hallways to actually be a decent length. But we'll be discussing that again later on. So Gutsman's weapon, the Super Arm, is Cutman's weakness. So we're going to come in here. Cutman is going to spawn. Now, the thing with the Super Arm is that you can only use it if there is blocks around. If there aren't blocks around, Gutsman's weapon is pretty useless. Using Gutsman's weapon, you can take out Cutman very quickly, but if you miss with one of the shots, you're going to have to resort to using the Mega Buster. The Mega Buster itself is not that difficult to use either, as Cutman is also takes a bit of damage with the Mega Buster as well, taking 3 hits of damage instead of half his health bar. So Cutman is definitely one of the first choices you can do. There is, however, a very good reason why I do Bomb Man first, and that's because our next stage is Elec Man. So we just got Cutman's weapon, which is the rolling cutter, and Elec Man is easily the hardest Robot Master in the game. Not necessarily Robot Master stage, but the hardest actual boss himself. The stage itself is not that difficult. Elec Man's gimmick is that it is extremely vertical. You're going to be heading up a lot in this stage. Basically, the only thing you're going to be doing is you're going to be heading up. Like, all the time. Those first enemies that we passed right there, they'll start going faster when you land on their platform, and they can't be defeated with the Mega Buster. They can only be defeated with an outside source of some sort. Also because Elec Man got some electric obstacles in this stage to deal with. They're not too difficult to take care of and go past. These enemies can be really annoying. You want to watch them, because one hit can send you a long way down. Case in point. Elec Man stage is also the first time we get the invisible block puzzle. This first one's not that bad. Just come up this way. If you go on that side, you can actually collect some weapon energy if you need it. Cutman's weapon's not that bad though. The rolling cutter is probably the second best weapon in this game, in my opinion. That is a health pickup right there, but it's basically a death wish to get it. That was a stupid jump. Thankful that the checkpoint was right here. That's the first life I've lost. That's saying something. Yeah, so if you can't tell, that's a bottomless pit. Pretty dangerous area. Okay, so which path you choose here really depends on... I keep moving too early with those things. Those things, yeah, it really depends on how far away from you they are. They can be quite annoying to deal with. And just the slightest little hit with those things can send you flying. That's how you should deal with them. Alright. This right here is our first utility item in the classic series. This is the magnet beam. To get it, you need either Gutsman's weapon, the super arm, or the weapon that you get at the end of this stage. This is the magnet beam. And the magnet beam creates platforms that you can stand on. Very helpful for much later on, and you'll see why much later on. The thing that the game doesn't tell you is that it's actually mandatory to complete the game. You need this weapon to complete the game. Which it doesn't tell you. So you could completely bypass this weapon and completely forget about it, not actually knowing that you need it to complete the game. We'll see the place where we need it later on. It's not in any of the stages, although it is very helpful, especially in the next stage. Alright. Continuing on. Another thing you'll find with Mega Man 1 is a lot of rooms that are the exact same as the room you encountered earlier on. Basically copy-pasting to spread out the level, to pad out the level a bit more. Another thing you'll notice is that Mega Man actually has a bit of traction in Mega Man 1. He loses it completely by Mega Man 3, but in Mega Man 1 he has a lot of traction, so you want to avoid it. That is the worst positioned big eye in the game. And you'll see right there how much damage that did? Yeah, that's how much damage a big eye does. That same amount of damage that Big Eye just did is also the same amount of damage that Elec Man can do to you with his weapon, the Thunder Beam. This makes Elec Man the worst Robot Master to fight in the game. It also doesn't help that his hallway is upwards with electric beams. And you have to go through 2 screens of this. Alright, once past that point, throw a rolling cutter to the right. Because then you'll be facing Elec Man when he spawns in. And that's why. Elec Man can kill you in 3 hits from a full health bar. I usually never am able to defeat Elec Man on the first go through. I usually do take a life against Elec Man. That first life where I fell off the stage stupidly because Mega Man's traction is crap. Well, no, okay, that was a bad jump on my part, but you know what I mean. Yeah, Elec Man is notoriously the worst Robot Master in Mega Man 1 because his weapon does so much damage to you. Yes, Elec Man can kill you in 3 hits. Now it is possible to actually hit him twice, but he also dies in 3 hits from the rolling cutter. So basically, it is possible to make him not fire his weapon at all. If you shoot him when he puts his arms up, he will, and he gets hit when his arms are up, he will basically reset his pattern, but it's really hard to do with his weakness. Anyway, with that being said, that's the end of part 2. Next time, we take the Thunder Beam, which is Elec Man's weapon, and take it to our next Robot Master. I should probably note why Elec Man is weak to Rolling Cutter, because scissors cut electric wires. That's the best explanation I can give. The next explanation, though, will be a lot easier to figure out. So next time we meet, in part 3 of Mega Man 1, we're going to be tackling the final 2 Robot Masters, Iceman and Fireman, in that order. So until then, I will see you all next time. Goodbye!